So a recruitment company acts as a facilitator, a go-between for a company and all the potential candidates in the marketplace who might be suitable for a position that that company has open at the given time. They can work either on an exclusive basis, whereby any person will need to be vetted, interviewed, and selected out by the recruitment company before they have a chance to sit down with the company to even talk about the position. Or it can run in parallel track, where a firm will employ a recruitment company to filter out the wide number of candidates that otherwise might flood them with CVs. But at the same time, the company will work its own network. They'll be looking out for recommendations, and they will have a separate track for candidates, and then look at candidates who are coming from either of those two and make their assessment thereafter. So in the UK, where I'm based, typically a recruitment company earns its keep by charging the firm that it's searching for somewhere in the realm of about 15 to 20% of the annual salary for the position. It can go higher. It can be as much as 30%. It can sometimes be a flat fixed fee, but no matter how you cut it, you're looking at a minimum of £4,000, something like that, $5,000. This is just the baseline for what it's going to take. Depending on how the contract is written between the recruitment company and the employing firm, there may be clauses whereby if the candidate does not work out over a short period of time and end up getting fired or leaves, then the recruitment company either refunds all or part of their search fee because they haven't provided a suitable candidate. But this varies wildly. I'd personally be quite wary of working with a recruitment company that would be looking for upfront fees from the candidates. That's something that would just be unusual, and you could probably do a much better job yourself in the marketplace. Okay. So there are several benefits that a recruitment company can bring to the table. One, there will be positions that they have exclusive access to. Some companies simply do not want to get involved at all with the mess and the hassle and the time of dealing with being flooded with candidates from all over the world, and sometimes looking for applying for jobs with them. It's just too much for them. So they're quite happy to farm that out to a recruitment company. So in these exclusive situations, they are your only route in. Secondary, particularly if it's a industry specific recruitment agency, they'll have developed long-term relationships with many of the key players in the business. They'll know the employers out there. They'll have visibility on opportunities that either existing or coming up, because of course they are dealing with other candidates who might be looking to leave a company, and although they can't tell you exactly what positions might be coming open in the marketplace, they will know about that. And if they have you on the books, they can sometimes be quite happy about placing a candidate for a position with another firm, and then also going and trying to place another candidate for the opening that they have just created. It gives them a double whammy. Also, they have good information on salaries, pay structures, bonuses within the industry. They deal with these things on a daily basis. They can give you quite a lot of good information and feedback on what expectations could be and should be for certain positions. And finally, they can give you extremely useful feedback on interviews. For one, if you're doing interviews with the recruitment company themselves, they'll be quite frank and open with you about what you've done well and what you haven't. You generally don't get that kind of feedback when you're interviewing with a company. Companies tend to be much more tight-lipped about these things. They're not there to give you a leg up and information and feedback to help you be a better candidate interviewer the next time around. They're there to decide if you're a candidate that's worth looking at for the position or not. So it's not in their interest. It's not part of their game. But even if you're having an interview with the company, if your recruitment agency is in touch with the interviewer that you'd spoken to, they can give you really good feedback after the fact. I had this happen some years ago. Had an interview with a company that I naively thought actually went really well, thought I did all the right things. I didn't get any negative feedback from the interviewer at the time, but in sitting down and having a conversation with the recruiter, he had gotten feedback from the interviewer, and he was able to pass on some really valuable tips and things that I learned and picked up on and used the next time, so I didn't keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Given that recruiters can bring a lot of positive benefits to the table, what are the potential pitfalls and negatives? Well, one is certainly if you're in a parallel track situation where a firm is using a recruitment agency, but they're also open to candidates approaching them directly themselves. If you happen to be in a reasonably small industry where there's only a set number of key players that people would expect one to apply for, I've had CVs across the desk that have come through from recruitment agencies for positions that I've been interviewing for. And I've scratched my head and thought to myself, well, why did this person just contact me directly? I'm not that hard to find. There's only so many players in this business that we want to work with. Certainly if I'm looking for a sales position, I'm looking for somebody who's going to be proactive, do some research, get out there and find the potential jobs available. It's a bit of a test of initiative and fail. So maybe that sounds harsh, but it's a reality. Second, again, if you're in a parallel track, if you are in the situation where you've gone through the recruiter and you're up against another candidate and it's an absolutely dead heat race between the two final candidates. There is virtually no difference. Management is scratching their heads, wondering if they should just, toss a coin to decide which of these two candidates they go for. And one of them comes through with no strings attached, and the other comes through with a large fee that we discussed earlier that's payable to the recruitment company. You can guess what's going to happen. Now, that probably should not be the case, but the reality is that's what's going to happen in a dead heat scenario. Secondary, let's say that you've moved beyond that stage and you've gotten the job. Fantastic. If you've gotten the job, again, no strings attached. When it comes to things like salary negotiation, bonuses, and what have you, the company's just got a little bit more wiggle room. If the company knows that they are paying the advertised or potentially discussed or expected salary, and on top of that, they're paying the recruitment company fee of several $1,000s, pounds, whatever currency you want to use, then that limits the company's viability to accede to some requests from your side for a bit of a negotiated pay bump when it comes to confirming the offer. Now, again, that shouldn't be the case. The fee that the company is paying to the recruitment agency should be seen as a completely separate thing. It should not have an impact on the candidate's final package and salary upon starting. But again, in the real world, you just know it's going to happen. So again, in that case, there is a potential disadvantage to be aware of and watch out for. And we all know that if you trace over time someone's starting salary who's just a little bit higher and then gets annual or semi-annual increments that are just a little bit higher than say their colleagues, over the course of a 20, 30-year career, the final salary differential and the lifetime earnings differential between the two candidates is phenomenal. So you want to give yourself the best possible start in the early sections. So again, thank you for listening. So recruitment companies have a lot of positive capabilities for you. Be aware of a few of the pitfalls, and by all means, go out there and explore all the opportunities. Thanks. If you enjoyed this, you found it useful, please like, share with a friend, subscribe. See you next time.